Hello everyone, today we're back working on the 59 Chevy truck cab on here. I've got the bottom here pretty much all prepped. We're going to do some Eastwood Rubberized Rust encapsulator on here on the bottom part of it, so we're going to get it taped off. It's chilly out today, so hopefully the time I'll get everything all prepped, taped off and protected, it'd be warm enough to do a little painting. It's in the low 50s right now, so let's get things ready to paint the bottom of this 59 Chevy truck cab today. All right, just laying out a tarp here. Trying to keep this pretty floor from getting too messed up. I have 120 grit soft pad sandpaper here. I'm just going to rough up the bottom of the cab. We're going to do some painting on, so let's do that, and then we'll get things taped up on there. Yeah. Well, blown off. It's got a ways before we get to the spraying. Actually, need to sand. We'll air hose off, and then maybe vacuum, and then some cleaner out here on this. So let's get started on this. See if we can get another 50 years out of this truck. And you probably should be wearing a mask or something, but I'm pretty well ventilated here. All right, it's you can kind of see where it's knocked the gloss off of it from where the undercoat was. So we'll get this, go get the air hose and start blowing this off. Okay, we finished sanding up here. Now we're just going to blow it off with some air, and then we'll get some lacquer thinner or something and kind of wipe everything down, see if we make sure we get as much particles off of it. There's the bottom. It's the bottom, so things got to look good, but doesn't have to be perfect, so it's a good place to practice on. Okay, have that blown off, vacuumed out, cleaned up. Now we'll get some rags and some cleaner. So let me go get all that stuff. All right, have some alcohol here. Yeah, not for drinking, but for fuel alcohol. So we'll go ahead and wipe everything down, soak a rag pretty good, wipe everything down good with it, let that dry off. And then we'll start getting to doing some taping off here and masking, so we can do some spraying. Just wiping it all down. Wiping it. Get in as many nooks and crannies as we can here. Get your safety glasses on in case you're slapping. All right, have that wiped down pretty good here with some alcohol. See, the rags picked up quite a bit of stuff. We will let that dry and start taping. I'm not sure if you can see it or not, but there's little nut holes here. I'm just going to wad up a little piece of tape and fill in there, keep them from have some little nut holes here for strapping stuff inside. I'm just going to wad up a little bit of tape and plug in there. No need in dirtying up a bunch of threads. Probably have to clean them anyways, but probably gonna have to clean them anyways, but no need in plugging them up with a bunch of undercoat. All right, just have some masking paper here. You go up top and mask off a couple extra spots here for security. Overspray it down. Okay, have everything taped off, masked off. Hopefully I did a good job here. If not, I'll be doing some sanding and figuring out how to remove this stuff. But overall, shook it up real good. Just say to spray it on. I think you can do it after it dries, do another flash coat, but definitely read directions. And it depends on what brand you're using as well on this. But let's get spraying on this and see how it covers. All right, I'm just going to start myself up top and kind of one corner and work my way down. So far, nice cover coming out of there well. Down here a little bit. All right, on can 2 here. You too can paint. Okay, have one coat on here. We'll let it dry and then we'll go do some touch up, check some spots on here. I don't know, I bought 2 cans. I don't know if that's gonna really, it may be like a 3 can to a 4 can job. So if you're doing that, this yourself, you might look into that when you're buying your paint. So anyway, let's, we'll let it dry. They said for about an hour before you do another coat. So we'll let that dry and come back a little bit later. All right, we'll start the second coat now. Packed up here. Some spots I'm kind of wondering about. I'll let that set up a little bit longer. All right, just doing some touch up, second coat here, up here. see it. It's not going anywhere. May need to just get another can. All right, pretty much have the second coat on here, so I'm gonna let that dry and set, and we'll see how it looks. I maybe need another can. So if you're doing the bottom of one of these cabs, I'd say probably go with at least 3 to 4 cans, depending on how heavy you want. It does do a pretty decent coat, and it is rubbery like there, so I think it will definitely help survive and protect against any rust in the future here, which is what I'm trying to get at here. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to hit that like button, and thank you for chucking around today. We'll catch you next time.